Merry Meter, everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene. It's the 22nd of 2016 of June, and of course, today, officially, as I understand it, we are going to be having the debate on the Clinton News Network, or CNN, as Donald Trump rightfully points out, and so therefore, the tonight, I think it's tonight. I could be wrong, but you know, we can always check your local listings and get the official word when the debates are. Today, of course, is, as I said, it's a normal day. It's not really stupendously wonderful. In fact, as you have heard, from watching the McDonald's video, Dory and I are talking about having her move in with me. Now, this has been a topic we have been discussing for a long time, so this is not really new by any stretch of the imagination. Dory and I had been working on this topic since last year. So, the thing is that Dory's daughter's boyfriend will be coming home soon. And Dory's daughter wants her boyfriend to be, which is also the father of Dory's granddaughter, to help raise his daughter. So, yeah, okay, I understand that, as best I understand it. So, Dory, unfortunately, doesn't get along particularly too well with the guy, so she's like, well, I don't really want to be with him, so I'm thinking of seriously taking you up on your offer. And today I want to talk to you about entitlement programs, because I think, you know, we talk about minimum wage jobs, and we talk about how minimum wage jobs are not paying enough money. I want to discuss it with the disability income for most people. Yes, there is a percentage of them that get more than others, and even them, it includes some people like me who don't really get that much more, but just get like maybe another 500 or so. We're still struggling. And I sent a message, not recently, but I did send a message to Donald Trump. And I mentioned to him that one of the things that I think this country needs to do is to create programs for people who want to work, that they can get off the dole and go back to work, even if it's harder to do. I do think we need to be able to have the right to work. I know that term "right to work" has been used for things that have nothing to do with disability, but I'm going to say this much: you should have the right to work. It is in some communist constitutions, but everybody should have the right to do a job, and be part of something great. Even if it's, if you like, for example, washing dishes in a restaurant and that's all you're good at, and that's all you enjoy, well, then that's fine. You should have that right to work, washing dishes in a restaurant. Or if you're good at assembling things and you want to work in a factory and you don't mind, getting paid by piecework, that's fine too. You should be able to do that. One of the things in this country is that we have been told over and over again that because you're disabled or whatever, just sit back, shut up, take your free money, get fat, no one cares about you. You're worse than a cockroach, and that's really just kind of disrespectful to everybody. However, I will say this much. The need to double up and triple up in housing rates is not extremely uncommon. There is a lot of people that are finding themselves between a rock and a hard place. And as I said, if you're disabled especially, most of the people on disability get really a lot less money than they should have. it's not necessarily adjusted by states. Some states, for example, are more expensive to live in than other states. Connecticut is certainly not cheap. California is not cheap. Wyoming maybe is a lot cheaper. Kansas is a little more expensive, but it is still cheaper. The problem is that for some people on disability, moving becomes extremely difficult to do, and so therefore to relocate because the rent's cheaper in state A when you're living in state Z, it might as well be like trying to run the Boston Megathon with 2 peg legs. Okay, you're not gonna hit first place. Trust me, you're not even gonna probably get to the finish line, because of the limitation of your income availability. That's the whole problem with this business of money. A lack of it. It's hurting a lot of people. It's hurting families. In fact, 10% of the University of California student base is homeless. Well, how could college students be homeless? Well, they can be homeless because, especially if they're living off campus, because they don't get enough money to pay for their apartments and housing. I know when I was living at the University of Connecticut, the stores on and off campus. On campus is more expensive. So some students, for example, may choose to live off campus because it saves in the room fees. But the sad truth is that living off campus means that you gotta rent an apartment. And around campus, there were apartments that were just so, if I adjusted for the prices today, the apartment I was in Silvermoon Square would probably be close to about $1,500 a month for a whole apartment for 3 rooms or 3 bedrooms. So you figure $1,200 divided by 3 students. That's $400 a month, right? That's pretty good. That was what it originally was when I was there. So that's probably close to $800 now per room per student. So that's pretty high. And so there's definitely is a need to change things. Now, as we go through and study and observe the world around us, we see that there's a lot of things that need to be changed and worked on. Donald Trump knows that. In fact, like I told Dory last night, with his attempted assassination in Nevada, it's like, in a way, that's a good thing, because that means he's doing something right. I mistakenly told her it was a Mexican illegal. It was a British illegal who attempted to assassinate him. And the reason why the British illegal wanted to assassinate him was not because he wanted to be Mr. Big Shot, but because some of the stuff that Donald Trump said he found very hurtful. Well, let's be honest, we need to understand one thing. How many bullets has Hillary Clinton had flown her way? I don't know. But, I mean, is a sign of a good president? It seems like a sign of a good president is the number of times the president has gotten taken pot shots at. Donald Trump is going to be a good president because he's got at least one attempted assassination attempt. Hillary Clinton has none. So I think that you can go by that. You can say 1 to 0. I mean, that means that Donald Trump has spoken up in a way that he's got the popular vote. He's got everything. Okay, so yeah, if the debate is tonight, I am going to watch it one way or another. But I think he's going to wash the floor with her hair. Seriously. Speaking of floors, I got to clean my house today. I got to do my laundry today. But anyway, the thing is that I don't think you can expect that Hillary Clinton is going to do anything for you. I don't know why people think she's such a great candidate. She's a mess. okay? Look, guys, if you look at her platform, it's a mess. She has got her own CIA, one of her own CIA agent, or Secret Service agents, Byrne. His name is Byrne. I think his last name is Byrne. Burns he wrote in a book about his experience with the Clinton administration and the Clintons in the White House, and he said that they were terrible people, and she was just a horrible person, extremely temperamental, extremely angry, extremely explosive. Well, it doesn't sound very positive. We know that that Bill Clinton. Hillary knew he was sleeping around with all these women. Well, she was calling lesbian porn hotlines and, making calls to these female fetishes and stuff. She sounds like a nice person, at least on camera. But I hear that she's not such a nice person off camera. How would she be in bed? I don't know. I don't think I want to find out. But anyway, regardless, the most important thing I'm trying to say is Donald Trump obviously is doing something right, because he's got the support. He's got the huge groundswell of support from so many people, and I'm still going to stand behind Donald Trump. I give him my endorsement. I don't know how I can make it official, Donald Trump. I'm endorsing you, but can you give me the instructions? I'll tell you how. I'll do it for you. I'll make it an official endorsement. But that still doesn't mean that I'm not going to have to try to be unbiased and I've got to try to be unbiased. I got to try to be, look at the story or whatever it is from both sides of the fence, and I will try to do that, regardless. But it's just that when it comes to the American hot button topic of the campaign, it's just a mess. Now, speaking of mess, let's talk about the British exit from the European Union for a minute, the Brexit. As an American, I'm looking at this from American outsiders' point of view. And so I'm seeing how when the European Union, when the United Kingdom joined it originally, the United Kingdom didn't want to jump in with both feet. One thing, they didn't want to get rid of the British pounds. I don't blame you guys. I'd be like us getting rid of American dollars, okay? It's not going to happen. I'd love to take on, I like some things about the UK, but it doesn't mean that, I would be able to get ready to deal with pounds and pence. You guys, of course, created new money, back in the 70s, and got rid of the old shillings and farthings and all that stuff. You guys changed your money system back in 73. I will say this much. One thing I love about the UK, love, I love your plugs. I love your outlets. Seriously, I love your whole electrical system. It just blows my mind. Okay, not too much sense for the circular mains business, but I love your fused outlets. I love your fused plugs, and I love the little shutters on them. Those things are the bomb. I'm serious. If we ever had those things in America, it would have been so much safer for our children, because you can't. The shutters that carry the juicy bits don't actually open until the earth pin is inserted in the plug into the wall. That is perfect. We here in the United States have in some houses, we have some of the most decrepit wiring ever. Most of Europe has 2-pin outlets, like a lot of America does. And the early American houses didn't even have an earth pin on our outlets. See, my house is no exception to the rule. And like you guys, like John Ward pointed out, is there's certain types of electrical cabling that we still have in America, which really is getting old, and it's starting to decay. And it's made out of cloth-covered rubber wiring. The wire sometimes disintegrates into nothing but powder, And so basically what's keeping two very high voltage conductors separated is basically a luck and a prayer. Yes, it really can be that bad. I have worked in places where the wiring just disintegrates in my hand. But still, I love British outlets. I love your British flags. But I don't quite understand your British government. I try, okay? I support the Queen and everything, but boy, you guys, your town councils and your city councils just kind of confuse me a lot, you know? But should you guys stay in the European Union or not? No. I think it was a mistake to join in the first place. The European Union used you like a cheap fiddle. You know, London joined because, well, we all know that London had a London Stock Exchange, and London was basically the hotbed of all commerce off the main island, off the main continent. Well, guess what? You guys got shaft ever since. So, I think you guys really should just leave. Just as you should allow the Scottish Independent Party to leave as well. The UK. I know what you can say is, aye, but if Scotland leaves, then we're much less just Wales and us. Well, it's called the United Kingdom, but so what if they want to have their own parliament and maybe have their own king? Let them. I mean, come on. It's nothing wrong with the idea of the Scottish Independence Party. Let them have the freedom. You want your freedom from the UK? Let's have it. Now, I heard something about how Ireland, North and South Ireland, better known as the Republic of Ireland, and Northern Ireland, they're saying is it could actually possibly reunited if the British Isles leaves the European Union. Well, okay. How so? Northern Ireland is always been kind of loyal to the crown, and has, it's been always been kind of a hot button area. So, the regular Republic of Ireland is always been kind of always wanted to remain independent of the crown. So we know, if you know anything about your history of the situation in Ireland, the blacks and the tans and all that, you know about it. That there's always been kind of skirmishes because of that, So, but could the two Irelands basically become one Ireland? Kind of like you would like to see with North and South Korea? Well, sure. That's one difference is we never actually had the Irish War. At least not by America anyway. We never got involved in the with the independent dealing with the IRA. But I can tell you is that the world is changing, and people are seeing that, and Donald Trump sees that. And even the Hermit Kingdom, the North Korea, knows the world's changing. And even though he's trying to, Kim Jong-un is still trying to keep an iron fist on his people. He's finding himself dealing with the fact is that the world is changing around him, and he's not going to be able to keep forever anyway. He's a totalitarian fist. That's just not likely to happen. So, just like I said before, and that's like Zurich says, change happens. Okay, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna change. Now, by the way, speaking of change, what about the weather? Well, the weather for the next few days, for today and tomorrow anyway, we're going to have a fairly mild catch a break here. I'm going to try to get some laundry done. I'm going to try to clean the house a little bit and relax and try to unwind. And I'm really kind of happy to know that Dory is considering moving in with me. I've been hoping that she was going to do that for a long time, and sounds like my landlord's willing to talk about it. I don't know if he's willing to say yes or not, but maybe he will. But let's talk about, as I said before, the beginning of this, the disability situation with people. I don't know how in the heaven's name anybody in Connecticut on disability of $730 to $760 can afford to live in their own and get an apartment in Connecticut unless it's subsidized. This is just not feasible. I mean, first of all, we have some of the highest taxes, and it is hurting the landlords all over the place. They got to pay high taxes, which means they have to charge high rents. And it's not really a business where you really make anything out of it. You might make a little bit of pin money now and then, but you're not going to really make a huge income. Okay? That's a fact. And the other thing, too, about being a landlord is you're going to deal with the baloney of insurance and having to deal with tenants that don't pay their rents. You got to pay for evictions or destroy the place. You got to pay for repairs or just general repairs. And but for the renters, it's sad to say we're the ones who get treated like crap. Because you know why? Because we are told that some landlords have said this outright. You guys bring in cockroaches. You bring in drugs. You bring in problems. You know, I may have had this place being beautifully fixed up and stuff, and then you come in and it's trashed. You know what? Sometimes that's very true, and I'm not gonna lie. But sometimes it's really not quite our fault. We're paying so much money for rent. In some cases, I am. I'm actually cutting a break, considering a lot of my contemporaries are paying a lot more than I am for an apartment of the size I have. You know, we are living in this situation where there's absolutely positively no, nothing. We're not catching a break out of this. Okay? The typical tenant is finding themselves caught between a rock and a hard place. Maybe they can't afford to get the medications if they take any, or they have to pay for electric or gas and rent. And sometimes finding out that they have to try to juggle all those things just to make ends meet. Take a look at my next month's budget. Now, I didn't print it out yet. It's really depressing, okay? It's like $6 left over after every bill's paid. $6. You kidding me? How in the heaven's name is anybody supposed to put any money in the bank when you have $6 left over? I put $20 away in the bank. That's separate. So actually, if you didn't put that in the savings, it would be $26 left over. That's crazy. Seriously. I don't even know how in the heaven's name anybody can live on that. I don't even know how I can live on it if I didn't get my food stamps. I'd be dead, literally, in a box. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't afford to buy the box. So I'd have to go ahead and have to put me in a wood chipper and turn me into mulch. Because unfortunately, that's my only choice for a burial. Because I wouldn't even have the option to be buried entirely. Just have someone get a big industrial wood chipper, take my body and throw it in there. Drain the blood out first, as per kosher, and grind me up into little itsy bitsy bits. And then basically turn those buried bits as compost. That's the only choice I've got. Oh, then I have to pay the guy for the diesel to run his chipper. Like, so would $6 be enough to pay for a gallon of diesel to run your chipper to grind me up into hamburger meat?
I saw that yesterday when I drove by.
Well, anyway, the point is the money isn't there, okay? So, one of the things that me and Dory discussed is, with Dory moving in, if Dory does still move in, like she promised, or didn't promise, she didn't actually give me a pinky promise or anything, she just she's told me she'd like to. One of the things is, we'd be able to finally get our satellite dish back. And we'd be able to have some TV shows to watch. Absolutely great idea. I love it. Because, like I said yesterday in our lunch video, I really, really need to watch my TV shows again. I really put on a lot of pound without my TV. I've been under a tremendous amount of stress. I've been taking a tremendous killing in my emotional stability. And I have to be honest, I miss my TV. But not because of the fact that it's just a big squawk box and it's just a way to kill some time. I do that too, but mostly because my TV allows me to keep up with the news events that are most important to me, as well as watch the shows I love. But when we ended up losing my Section 8, I had to cancel my satellite dish package. Okay? I really wanted to keep it at the time, but I could not afford to do so. My satellite receiver was getting old anyway. It was a DVR. It was getting, sooner or later, the hard drive, and it was going to die. Count on it. So yes, indeed, I do want to watch some TV again. Now, you might say to yourself, and you'd be accurate, saying is, well, what about getting a rooftop antenna? Well, a rooftop antenna could be a useful thing, but where I live, a rooftop antenna is going to cost me more money than I want to pay. Okay? There, I said it. It's true. It's going to cost me more money than I want to pay. So what about relocating? Like I told Dory, the only way we can afford to relocate is if we would go ahead and save up about $3,000, and then maybe we can relocate. She said, well, what about moving downstairs, apartment number 4 or 3? Yeah, 3, maybe. Except I don't know if we can afford 3. Okay? She said, what about 10? I said, well, someone might be renting 10. So that's not, besides, 10 is the same as my apartment. It's just it's on the eastern side of the building, northeast of the building, and I'm in the northwest of the building. I don't think that's going to really do me any good. Okay? Plus, they covered the skylight in the, where my multimedia room would be, so it's dark as a cave. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going there, okay? I would love to have a place with windows all around, because that would be great for cross flow. But, since 10 really doesn't gain anything, it's got a new kitchen. Okay, well, maybe that might help a little bit. But, look guys,
you're gonna get a job here.
It's not really worth it for 10, okay? So I'll let you know what it goes with that if it happens to be she moves in. And we've already kind of got some tentative negotiations in place, but we're still working on it. But I mentioned in my other one of my vlogs about the heat and how I would like to go to Barrow, Alaska. I still would love to go to Barrow, Alaska. But, there's a couple things about Barrow, Alaska I never addressed. I'm going to address them right now. First of all, it's isolated. It is almost as bad as living in the North or in the South Pole. It is basically, it was more like living at not quite at Scapmunson base, but living at the other base there, McMurdo. It's like McMurdo base. It's on the edge. Okay, the main industry for the Alaska natives was whaling up there. So it's kind of a cold, inhospitable place. It's dreadfully boring. If you ever watched Excalibur Kid, where Merlin said he wants to send more guys to Orkney, that is Barrow. It is cold. And in the wintertime, it's dark 6 months out of the year. And it's still, the only way you get into Barrow is by plane. You cannot even drive. Everything has to be transported by plane. Even the cars they have. So everybody in Barrow basically really knows your name. Just like the song My Cheers goes. Okay? It's that small. It's like... it's almost like... was that the show there? Life Below Zero. Yeah. It really is like that. It's scary. It's dark. You got polar bears that'll rip your heart out. They've been mating with the grizzlies. They call them growlers or growlers. They're not call them pizzies. Pizzlies. Pizzlies is when a polar bear male meets a polar bear grizzly female. They have lookups. Okay, whatever. The point is they're intermating. Okay? Because they are coming together again. Come together right now over me. Yeah, you see what it is that because the two ranges are meshing, the two species of bears are marrying each other, and they're having cubs together. And so yeah. By the way, did you know that the Barrow High School is the only high school football field in the world that has blue turf? It's true. Blue AstroTurf. Obviously, couldn't afford to grow real grass because of obvious reasons. It's real grass will never survive in Barrow, Alaska. But the prices of stuff in Barrow is out of this world. I'm serious. This milk, if this was a milk imported by truck, by the way, this comes from Eruthus Farms in Litchfield, but let's say this was from Seattle. This milk here would cost me, for a half-gallon milk like this, here in the lower 48, a milk of this size costs about, depending on where you go, about $2.50 to $3. Okay, let's just say $3. Up in Barrow, Alaska, the same size milk would cost you $10. That is because of the way it has to be imported into Barrow, Alaska. It is not cheap. Okay, but gotta admit, if you happen to be a snow person, that would be a great place to go. If you happen to be on a fixed income, that's the worst place to go. That's no lie. Alright, so for now I'm going to let you guys go because I have to get ready to wrap this up. But I'll talk to you soon. So please do not forget to share your thoughts. Like, subscribe. Yes, please do subscribe. And comment in the comment section below here. I do read them. I really do. Sometimes if you send private comments, please understand the way my system is set up here. I don't see them necessarily until I sit down at the main computer. If I'm using my cell phone, I don't always see comments like that. Unless but when I sit down at the main computer and I see the little bell icon and it's red, and I look at it and see comment pointers, and I look and see who sent me private comments, I will read them. I will try. Okay? And of course, I'm always welcome to your suggestions. If you have topics that interest you, let me know. And if you know anybody who's going to be simulcasting that debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Rotten Clinton, let me know where it is going to be, because I definitely want to watch that. Okay? Pray for me to your God and Goddess that, my life will get better and that I finally will get myself back together again and enjoy I'll catch a break from all the stuff that's going on. Okay? So for now, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.